Chiforn. The Zaliangrong United Front, ZUF, and the Zaliangrong People's Struggle against Nscn, IM, and Tangkhul people, a detailed account of land claims, armed clashes, and political struggles. The historical and contemporary relationship between various ethnic groups in the northeastern region of India is a complex web of cultural, social, and political tensions. Among the groups involved in these intricate dynamics are the Zaliangrong people, who are primarily found in parts of Nagaland, Manipur, and Assam. Their collective identity as Zaliangrong has been significantly shaped by their cultural heritage, language, and regional positioning within the broader framework of Naga ethnic politics. Central to this discussion is the emergence of the Zaliangrong United Front, ZUF, as a political and armed resistance force, and its ongoing struggles with the Nscn-IM, National Socialist Council of Nagalim, Isak Muiva, and the Tangkhul Naga people. Dababri 1. Background: the Zaliangrong people and the formation of ZUF. The Zaliangrong people are a collective ethnic group predominantly made up of three subgroups: the Zema, Liangmai, and Rongmei. These people have traditionally inhabited the hills of northern Manipur, southern Nagaland, and parts of Assam. Their cultural practices, language, and religious beliefs have aligned them with other Naga tribes, but the Zaliangrong people have long experienced a distinct political and socio-cultural identity. In the mid-20th century, the political and territorial claims of Naga ethnic groups came into sharp conflict with the interests of the Indian state. The formation of the Nscn National Socialist Council of Nagalim in 1980 marked a watershed moment in Naga political history. The Nscn's primary aim was the unification of Naga-inhabited areas under one independent Nagalim and the creation of a separate state. However, as Naga nationalism grew, internal divisions also began to emerge, primarily between two factions: the Isak Muiva faction, Nscn-IIM, and the Kaplang faction, Nscn-K. The Nscn-IM, led by Isak Chishiswu and Thuingaleng Mueva, sought a greater degree of control over Naga areas, both geographically and politically. It was against this backdrop that the Zaliangrong United Front, ZUF, was formed in 2010. The ZUF was a response to the marginalization of the Zaliangrong people within the broader Naga political framework and the growing domination of certain Naga subgroups, particularly the Tangkhul Naga people, who are closely aligned with the Nscn-IM Chandanidra Purs II. The struggles for land claims and territorial sovereignty. The heart of the conflict between the ZUF and Nscn-IM lies in the territorial claims and disputes over land. The Zaliangrong people, spread across parts of Nagaland, Manipur, and Assam, have long held ancestral claims to land in these areas. However, the increasing influence of the Nscn-IM, especially in parts of Manipur, has created friction. The Nscn-IM has been a dominant political and militant force, and it has worked to consolidate Nagalands under a single umbrella. This expansionist vision of Nagalim, or a greater Naga nation, has brought it into conflict with other tribal communities, including the Zaliangrong, whose territorial claims have been overlooked or ignored in this broader Naga nationalist project. As the Nscn-IM continued to push for territorial consolidation, the Zaliangrong people, led by the ZUF, began to resist what they saw as encroachment on their land and their way of life. The ZUF's armed wing engaged in periodic clashes with the Nscn-IM in an attempt to assert its territorial and political rights. Commandments 3. The ZUF versus Nscn-IM battle. Clashes, armed encounters, and strategic gains. The tensions between the ZUF and the Nscn-IM have resulted in several violent encounters. These clashes were often centered around control over strategic locations and access to resources. The ZUF, though numerically smaller and less equipped compared to the well-established Nscn, was able to capitalize on local knowledge of terrain and community support to launch successful guerrilla operations. One of the most significant events in this struggle occurred in the early 2010s when the ZUF launched a series of attacks on Nscn camps in the hills of Manipur. These operations were carefully planned and executed, targeting Nscn's logistical hubs and training camps. ZUF forces reportedly captured several key Nscn bases in remote areas, gaining control over supply lines and reducing the Nscn's operational capacity in the region. This strategic gain was significant not just militarily, but also politically. The ZUF's victories were a clear statement of defiance against the Nscn's hegemony, and a reminder to the Indian state of the growing complexities of the Naga insurgency. These successes helped to solidify the ZUF's position as a major actor in the regional political landscape, furthering their aim of securing autonomy and territorial rights for the Zaliangrong people. The killing of Aboni, a turning point in the conflict. One of the darkest episodes in the conflict between the ZUF and Nscn was the killing of Aboni, a prominent Zaliangrong leader, by suspected Nscn militants. Aboni was a respected figure in the community and an advocate for the rights of the Zaliangrong people. His assassination by Nscn forces in 2015 sent shockwaves through the region and escalated the conflict to new levels of violence. Aboni's death was a symbolic loss for the Zaliangrong movement, as he had been an outspoken critic of both the Nscn and the broader Naga nationalist agenda that sought to subsume Zaliangrong interests under a pan-Naga banner. His killing was widely viewed by the ZUF as an attempt by the Nscn to silence dissent and intimidate other regional leaders. In retaliation for Aboni's killing, the ZUF launched a series of attacks on Nscn positions, leading to a significant increase in violence in the region. The killing not only deepened the animosity between the two groups, but also further polarized the Naga political landscape, with different factions seeking to claim legitimacy in the wake of the tragedy. The role of the Tangkhul people and their association with the Nscn. The Tangkhul Naga people, native to the Ukhrul district of Manipur, have a close association with the Nscn Tuingaleng Mueva. The General Secretary of the Nscn hails from the Tangkhul community, and as a result, the Tangkhuls have been significant players in the Nscn's leadership and its political agenda. The ZUF has often accused the Tangkhul people of aligning with the Nscn's centralization efforts, which they claim undermine the autonomy and territorial integrity of other Naga tribes, including the Zaliangrong. The political dominance of the Tangkhul people within the Nscn and the perception that they are using the organization as a vehicle to expand their own influence have contributed to the growing resentment among the Zaliangrong. In many ways, the struggle between the ZUF and Nscn can be seen as a reflection of the broader tensions between different Naga subgroups, with the Tangkhuls and the Zaliangrong occupying opposing poles in this intra-ethnic contest for power, land, and resources. 6. Impact on the local population and humanitarian concerns. The ongoing conflict between the ZUF and Nscn, exacerbated by the involvement of the Tangkhul people, has had devastating consequences for the local population. Civilians in the affected areas have borne the brunt of the violence, with frequent instances of forced displacement, destruction of property, and civilian casualties. Local communities, particularly in Manipur and parts of Nagaland, have found themselves caught in the crossfire between the two militant groups. Both the ZUF and Nscn have been accused of using civilian areas as shields, and of forcibly recruiting local youth into their ranks. The economic impact of the conflict has also been significant, with agricultural activities disrupted and trade routes blocked by the ongoing violence. The Indian government's response to the situation has been criticized for being ineffective and inadequate. While peace talks have occasionally been initiated, they have often failed to address the root causes of the conflict, particularly the issue of territorial rights and ethnic self-determination. 7. Looking to the future. Prospects for peace and reconciliation. The future of the ZUF, the Nscn-IM, and the broader Naga political landscape remains uncertain. The ongoing conflict, with its deep-rooted historical, cultural, and political factors, is unlikely to resolve easily. Both the ZUF and Nscn-IM have entrenched positions, and their rivalry continues to be a destabilizing force in the region. For a meaningful resolution to the conflict, it will be essential for all parties to engage in inclusive dialogue that takes into account the diverse aspirations of the various Naga subgroups, including the Zaliangrong. A comprehensive peace process will need to address issues of territorial autonomy, resource sharing, and cultural recognition, while ensuring that the rights of marginalized communities are protected. Until such a resolution is achieved, the people of the region, particularly the Zaliangrong, will likely continue to struggle for recognition, autonomy, and peace in the face of an ongoing and often violent political battle. Please subscribe and share Zalengam Media. Thank you for watching.